everyone, I'm Julia. Welcome to my channel. So for today's video, we are heading to recurrent training. For my company, we operate Part 135 and Part 91. And to be current Part 135 pilot in command, you have to do recurrent training every 6 months. Since we fly 2 different types of airplanes, we alternate every 6 months. I am due for the XLS Plus, and I'm headed to Flight Safety Orlando for the week. And my husband is coming with because he has a few days off. And so we're gonna head to Orlando today and probably go to downtown Disney. And then tomorrow I start ground school and Sims. So come along and check out what corporate pilot recurrent is like. Alrighty, so we made it to our hotel in Florida, got all settled and took a little nap. It was funny because my husband and I were talking about how any pilot has their own system when they get to a hotel, and they like to put things in specific places and do things in a specific order. And when we travel together, which is more rare than our work travel, sometimes, you know, we disagree on where things should go or what order to do things in, and it's just funny. I'm sure other pilots can relate. But yeah, we took a nap, I did some studying, and now we're gonna head to downtown Disney to walk around, maybe do some shopping and get some dinner. Good morning, everybody. It's the next day. So I have day 1 of my recurrent training. It's about 8:30 in the morning and I'm about to head to flight safety. I start off with a sim session, briefing at 9, and then this afternoon I have ground school. Finished my first sim and I just had my lunch break, and now I'm about to go to ground school. It was interesting because I was supposed to have a partner. I was supposed to have a sim partner, and apparently they had canceled their reservation and everyone else had canceled, so I'm by myself in my ground school for my recurrent. So if I don't know the answer to anything, I think it's going to be really obvious, so hopefully I studied well enough. But my sim went really well. I actually kind of enjoy not having an assigned sim partner because that means I get a flight safety right seater, which is someone who is employed by flight safety to fly in the right seat. So they're really good with checklists. And yeah, so it was a really good sim session. Did some approaches, some emergencies, maneuvers, all that good stuff. Almost exactly the check ride profile was the first sim. So I know tomorrow we're doing hot and heavy operation, but before all that, I have 4 hours of ground school this afternoon. So exciting times. Righty, we are about to start day 2 of Sims and ground school. I just dropped my husband Daniel off at the airport. He is on reserve tomorrow out of O'Hare, so he's got to go home. So I'm solo again for the rest of this trip. And yeah, so today I'm about to go to the sim and then another 4 hours of ground school. So recurrent day 2. Here we go. Alrighty, we survived day 2 in the sim. High, hot, heavy from Tucson to Las Vegas with wind shear, terrain, emergency descent, autopilot failures, avionics failures, hydraulic failures, like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. I had to hand fly like almost the whole thing. I am beat. I'm ready for some lunch. Another afternoon of ground school. Never a dull moment. Alright, hey, it's day 3. Just finished my sim. I know I keep coming to you from the car, but can't film during sims or ground school or anything like that. So just finished my lunch break and my last training sim before my check ride. It went very well, so I'm very pleased with that and feeling very ready for my check ride. About to head to my last ground school, and at the end of ground school today, my recurrent written test. So should be exciting. But yeah, ready to knock out these last few hours of ground school and call it a day. Good morning. It's check ride day. About 7:40. My check ride's at 8 a.m. My oral's at 8 a.m. and then my sim's at 10. So ready to get this done and feeling good, feeling ready. Okay, well, I'm all done. I passed my oral and check ride. All done. That's all she wrote for recurrent training for the XLS this year. So it went really well. I'm very pleased with my performance and I'm glad to be done. My check pilot was the same guy who I had last year, so we already had a bit of a rapport. It was nice working with him again. And now I am headed to St. Augustine to go visit with a friend for the next day or so. So the adventure continues. I wanted to take a minute and talk about check rides. I know they can be a source of anxiety for a lot of pilots, and a lot of people wonder if they'll ever get over their check ride anxiety or if those nerves before the check ride will ever go away. And kind of, I think, is the right answer, and it definitely varies person to person. So I used to get really bad check ride anxiety. In fact, I failed my first ever check ride, my private pilot check ride. It's the only one I've failed, knock on wood, but yeah, I used to get it pretty bad, and it comes out of a desire to perform and perform perfectly, because I think a lot of pilots are really type A and strive for perfection, and it's really hard to kind of fight that desire for perfection. I don't think it's a bad thing to want, it's just a bad thing to fixate on, because inevitably you're going to mess something up or it's not going to be exactly perfect. And if you focus on that, then you're not going to be able to, focus on the next thing that you're doing and all the other maneuvers. I think over time, I just, dedicated myself to studying and precision and working really hard. And that definitely helped my check ride anxiety, because I feel like over time I got better at check rides. I got better. It just made me a better pilot, but also I was better at the testing portion of being a pilot. And moving forward to professional aviation, for my first type rating, I was extremely nervous and I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to, not just pass my check ride, but I wanted to be absolutely perfect. And that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. And ultimately it went well, but I think I readjusted my expectations to strive for perfection, but to, understand that executing everything to standards is what the examiner is looking for. They're not looking for perfection. So if you strive for perfection, you'll probably fall a little bit short, but it's not detrimental. And striving for perfection and giving yourself anxiety about striving for perfection are two different things. I would not recommend being anxious about being perfect because, again, the examiner does not care if you are perfect. They care if you are safe. And being a safe pilot is really what they're looking for in any truck ride, regardless of what level you're at. So those are my tips. Hopefully some of that was helpful or encouraging. Let me know if you have other questions about check rides or training. Ultimately, it was great to get back in the airplane after training. I got so much out of my week at Flight Safety, but it was nice to have a regular flight with nothing crazy happening. I'm glad I can feel confident that I've flown the emergency procedures in the sim. I hope I never have to use the skills I've learned, but I know I'll be well prepared if the situation ever arises. I had a great trip up to St. Augustine to wrap up my week of training. It was nice to relax for a bit before heading home. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on that trip. It was great that I was able to add some fun to it on both sides. I definitely squeezed the most fun out of that recurrent trip as possible. So be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions about training for type ratings, jet training, things like that. I'm here and I would love to answer any questions you have. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.